recognize the ranking member, gentleman from California, Mrs. Swalwell, for 5 minutes of questions.
Mr. Meyers, CrowdStrike released its content configuration update into the kernel, which is the core part of the operating system, where an error will crash the entire system rather than just one single application. Some competitors of yours have claimed that this kind of kernel access is dangerous and that a better practice is to deploy such updates directly to the user mode where the impacts would only affect an application. Can you explain, just for folks who may not understand the kernel and this dialogue, why CrowdStrike issues updates to the kernel, how it balances the benefits of kernel access to the risk that it creates, and is CrowdStrike planning to make any changes to how it uses kernel access to reduce the risk of crashing entire systems?
Thank you, Congressman. The Windows kernel is, and all operating systems have a kernel. This is the central kind of most part of the operating system. In many cases, you'll hear it referred to as ring 0. The kernel is responsible for interfacing with all of the hardware associated with that operating system or that computer. CrowdStrike is one of the many vendors out there that uses the Windows kernel architecture, which is an open kernel architecture. This is a decision that was made by Microsoft to enable the Microsoft operating system to support a vast array of different types of hardware and different systems. The kernel is responsible, or the key area where you can ensure that you have performance, where you can have visibility into everything happening on that operating system, where you can provide enforcement, in other words, threat prevention, and as well to ensure anti-tampering, which is a key concern from a cybersecurity perspective. Anti-tampering is very concerning because when a threat actor gains access to a system, they would seek to disable security tools. And in order to identify that that's happening, kernel visibility is required to see when that's occurring. The kernel driver is a key component of every security product that I could think of, whether they would say that they do most of their work in the kernel or not. It varies from vendor to vendor, but to try to secure the operating system without kernel access would be very difficult.
The Cyber Safety Review Board has demonstrated that it can conduct a meaningful review of cyber incidents, including the most recent Microsoft review, which has proven helpful to this committee's oversight of recent incidents involving Microsoft. Some cybersecurity experts have called for the CSRB to conduct a review of this incident. Do you believe they should? And second, if they do, will you fully cooperate with that review?
Thank you, sir. We would fully cooperate with everything. We've been working with CISA, the various ISAC communities, and many of your staffs directly since the 19 July incident in order to ensure that we have provided transparency and visibility into everything that's occurring.
Shifting toward your mission of protecting your customers, and we have seen over the years that our adversaries, particularly around even years in the fall, like to weaponize their own capabilities to attack democracy. Can you just give us a picture of the threat environment right now as far as what you're seeing from our adversaries? Any new, unique lines of attack in any particular countries that you see escalating their attacks as we head to November 5?
Thank you, Congressman. Our adversaries watch these elections very closely. We've already seen in this election process that Iran has played a role in targeting campaigns. We continue to see China and others as well. With regard to what activity we've seen thus far, espionage continues to be the primary motivator for countries like China and Russia. We have seen, certainly in the past, that these adversaries have stolen sensitive information and leaked them. We also see a rich array of disinformation and misinformation occurring as a result of foreign adversaries using social networks and things of that nature to drive narratives that are supportive of their agendas.
Yield back.